good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're watching. Today, me and Adam are going to be interviewed by Chris about our relationship. So over to you, Chris.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Mental Health Warrior channel. My guests this afternoon are Adam and Kerry Duval. An incredible partnership of awareness raising that I've gotten to know over the last months and that I follow online. Adam, I have to say, first of all, and I meant to comment weeks ago, congratulations on the new lockdown haircut. I think it suits you a lot better. You look very sharp, sir. Very nice.
Thank you.
Did you do it? Yeah. Well, I hope that you agree that it's a great job, and if you don't, we'll come back to that later on.
I'm in the middle.
And that looks good, mate. Looks very smart. So, yeah, the mental health warrior movement is really about awareness raising about mental health issues and across the board, really, isn't it? So I spoke to Adam during one of his lives a while ago, and he was kind enough to let me have the opportunity to tell my story and talk about some of the stuff that I do. So I thought we'd turn the tables on him a little bit. So it's not going to be all about your relationship. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a hardcore therapy session. I said to Adam before we started, this is just for fun. I don't really have any questions planned. But we'll start off with the basics because some of your viewers that are watching this might not know you or might not know you for the mental health warrior stuff. So in your own words, give us a quick sort of, couple of minutes or a couple of seconds on kind of what is the mental health warrior movement? What kind of made you start it? What encouraged you to get started?
It all started when I was brought up in a toxic environment. When I was abused growing up, I was bullied, all because I was misunderstood due to my disabilities. Then it got too much, and I kept that to myself for a good over 20 years, to the point, enough's enough. I hit rock bottom, and I thought, the only choice I've got is suicide. So I've attempted that multiple times, and I thought, you know what? It turned out it was a severe anxiety attack. Kerry's moving the camera. I don't know why.
She just wants to see her, not you. Go on, mate. You're doing well.
Yeah. So I attempted suicide, and I thought, you know what? It turned out it was a severe anxiety attack, and I needed to kick my ass. How do I say it? Kick myself up the ass and become a good role model to my kids, and that's how the mental health warrior movement started.
Yeah, fantastic, love it, and it's such a nice, honest sort of version of events. A lot of times people can dwell on these things, and obviously incredibly sorry to hear about the abuse in the childhood, and we don't need to go into it. I think in a variety of different ways we all suffered our childhoods a little bit, don't we? And again, equally sorry to hear that you felt that you needed to kind of take action on it in the most sort of extreme way, isn't it? But I think what's fantastic is that people that do sort of put themselves out there and speak out and seek to improve the world, it is born out of your own personal experience and passion. Otherwise, I don't think you'd have the strength. One would have the strength to do it. So that's fantastic. And then you mentioned the family there, so tell us a little bit about your family. What's the home makeup look like?
How long have you got?
Well, you've got kids, right? You've got some kids.
Yeah. Well, obviously together we've got 2, but I've got 3 in total. Right. And obviously I can't say too much about that one, but I can say a little bit. But 2, they are, well, when they're upstairs playing, you don't even think they're humans. You think it's a zoo upstairs. So, done up to that.
Yeah, we've got a little boy, Lucas, who's 9.
Yeah.
Little girl, Tegan, that's nearly 8. And Adam's other little girl is called Katie. She was taken off her mum for neglect, and her mum pushed her towards the adoption. And obviously we've been against it from the start because we thought she should be better with us. And this is what the ongoing case in court is, which we can't go much further than that because we're back in court in a couple of weeks.
No, that's fine. Full respect to that. And I think I've seen some of the content of Lucas and Tegan, and it really is lovely. I can hear you when I think everyone's kids have the capability to be absolute monsters, don't they? But there's also some really precious, lovely moments following you guys online. And the other situation, that's a tough one, but you've got to do what you think is right at the end of the day and hope for the best. So yeah, fair play. So what a lovely sort of family unit. So I was thinking about this positive thing you've got going on in your life now, because I kind of want to focus on that rather than dwell too much in your past, because I know you've shared your story and I know you've got your challenges, which I do want to talk about. So what's the experience been like for you two since this whole mental health warrior thing started? And that's a big question, so I'll let you open it up and we'll see where we go.
At the start, it was obviously it was just Adam to start with, doing podcasts on, well, not even podcasts, I would call them Facebook Lives on Facebook.
Once a week.
Doing it once a week on Facebook, talking about different things, inviting a few people on to talk about it. And then obviously, as the qualifications came in, he got more qualified, more knowledgeable, and then he moved on to doing the YouTube channel. And from the YouTube channel, I don't know how we came up with it, but the Mental Health Warrior was born. And then from that, we were like, right, okay, well, we can make this into a brand, and we can spread awareness of mental health, because there's not enough awareness out there for mental health. And a lot of men do suffer with mental health and need more help. And obviously, Adam was passionate about raising awareness. So, and obviously, that's not a bad thing. So obviously, I said, right, okay, I'll help you as much as I can. So we built a website. We did the YouTube channel more. We built the logo. Yeah. And we just took it from there. And in the next 12 months, we plan, obviously, when we've got further qualifications, we want to start going into schools, doing workshops.
Okay.
Right. Educating the younger generations about mental health, but obviously doing it on age-appropriate terms.
Yeah.
We talked about going into primary schools. And obviously, because Lucas at the moment is learning, and obviously he's still learning at the minute. Mm-hmm. And he's bringing a few things up at school and making school phone up. He's talking about this, he's talking about that. Well, yeah, okay, but what the school don't know is mum and dad are mental health professionals at home, so there's going to be hearing a lot more mental health stuff. So obviously that's why we want to teach younger generations. I think even more so in high schools, because obviously that's where a lot of mental health starts, in high school. With the bullying, the perfect body and everything like that. Do you want to expand?
Yeah, because obviously we got a call off the pupil welfare officer at our school saying, it's a concern how Lucas is coming out with suicide this, suicide that. And it's like, why is that a concern, to be honest? Because it should be spoken about. Like, when we pick him up, we're going to praise him for actually talking about it. Because I can see now, when I was 9 years old, I didn't even believe mental health actually existed.
Well, I think it's more than that, isn't it? From our generation, I'm assuming your age there, apologies, but from my generation, it just wasn't part of the language at all. No. Like, wasn't really, considered as an independent thing. So, can I get to some of those things there? So when he's bringing things up at school, is he sort of, it's quite a blunt question. How is he bringing it up? Is he talking about it as a thing, or is he talking about it as something he thinks about and is worried about?
Well, because he is at home majority of the time, and he's hearing us talking about it, and because I get clients that come
you're very passionate about it.
Coming to me with their challenges. One of the questions every mental health professional has to ask someone who's in crisis is, "Are you feeling suicidal?"
Yeah, of course.
We have to ask that. So maybe that's where Lucas has picked it up from. Maybe he's actually listening.
Maybe he's trying to educate the children at school, but obviously he doesn't know enough about mental health to be that educator. And obviously that's why we thought of this workshop thing going forwards. But obviously we need to be more qualified with children and mental health first, which is why we've enrolled onto courses to do children and mental health.
Understanding it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a really key thing, because a lot of people will look at your content. You've seen this before. They'll look at your content, they'll listen to the way you present, they'll listen to some of your opinions and beliefs, and they'll start to sort of, that's what they do, isn't it? They question you and sort of go, okay, well, where are you coming at this from? And so you guys are coming at this from sort of lived experience. I know that you guys sort of have a few challenges that other people do, but that not most folks necessarily have. And you've got to manage those as well, haven't you? So tell us a bit about your qualifications, because I think that's really important. Like, what have you done since you started the mental health?
Up to now, I've only got mental health awareness level 2 and my mental health first aid level 2. Level 1, sorry.
Yeah.
So Adam's obviously got his coaching badge, got his mental health coach qualification.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
what is that? What is that?
Level 2.
Yeah, I've got mental health first aid level 1. And obviously with the coaching, that progressed to level 2, which obviously qualified me to go and coach people. Nice. And thinking about it, I think I've got safeguarding as well.
Okay, yeah, well, that would make sense.
I think I have. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And what is the mental health coaching involved? I mean, obviously, I'm a coach. I know what coaching is. But what's mental health coaching specifically?
Just helping people, not specifically advising them what to do, because I believe any coach that advises someone in crisis to go and do something, I believe that's a trigger. I believe actually guiding them to giving them the right steps, right strategies, right system. That's key. That's key and critical.
Yeah.
And not once have I had criticism when I've been helping people. Not once.
Yes.
A lot about identifying what problems the person is facing and then putting the solutions in place. And it's like, he won't just say like, right, okay, well, this is what you've got to do. He'll say, right, okay, there's a couple of things we could do. So why don't you go away for maybe a couple of weeks, try these techniques, and obviously he'll talk them through how to do the techniques and find out which technique works better for that individual.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously some techniques don't work for everyone. It's not one size fits all. You know, everybody's different. Everybody deals with things differently. Yeah,
the last client I had, obviously I won't name who it is, but they actually had told me that they're glad they came across me, because I ring them up, I speak to them for an hour, maybe even longer over the phone, and they say it's fantastic I've come across you, because I've come across counsellors in the past and they've said, they practically told me what to do, and it just never worked. But then they come to me, I just listen, I don't interrupt, and that's what majority of therapists don't understand. They don't realise.
So this is very much more than just awareness raising for you now. This is actually about engaging with people that want to sort of want your support.
Yeah.
And I think what Kerry just said is spot on, isn't it? Far more than physical health. Physical health is pretty universal. We all have arms, we all have bones. If they break, you do something with it, don't you?
Yeah.
But all this is a mess, and it's an individual thing. It's unique, and so that some of the interventions and things that are required are for the individual.
Yeah.
So that's
So it's like we'll still obviously raise awareness and try and put a stop to the stigma of mental health, but obviously it's about helping people as well through their own
we
challenges.
We won't try. We will do.
We will. Well, you've been very impressed with, especially the evolution of the technology. I remember when we did our video, you had your funny background and your hair was a bit funny, and now you've got nice lights and your HD camera, your green screen ready to go. So not just the evolution of that, but really impressed is just the stacking up of all the guests.
Yeah.
You know, I know from trying to do content and stuff that kind of thing, requires good bit of planning, good bit of thinking. So how do people that want to do like their lives and stuff, how do they tend to find you? Where do you pick them up?
I am everywhere, Chris. I am everywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you do get a lot of your guests from LinkedIn.
I get them from LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's where all the professionals tend to come from.
And I speak to people across different countries rather than the UK. Yeah, I get a UK person, but the most common people I get are from Australia and Canada.
Interesting.
Then obviously they share the videos with him, and then obviously it attracts more people.
Yeah. And that's about it, isn't it? It's about growing that audience and growing that awareness.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about you two, yourself in particular, in the mental health warrior sort of approach that is appealing to people?
I think our message.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's our message because they keep saying, so what exactly do you do and what's your long-term aim? And straight away I said, I've only got one mission, ending the stigma of mental health.
Yeah.
That's it.
And a lot of people have said that when they talk to you, they're nervous and that lot before the video, but then you talk to them and it's like you come across as like an old friend. You're talking to an old friend that you've not spoken to for ages, and you make them feel so calm and relaxed, and they'll open up and to the point where you've had people crying on the podcasts.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
They started crying.
I have. I've had people in tears.
If you can make a guest cry, that's fantastic, mate. No, but it is. It's really good, isn't it? Because it shows the sort of vulnerability and opening up, and you want to end the stigma of mental health challenges. Then vulnerability is, I think, what we need to embrace in order excuse me, in order to do that. Yeah, brilliant. So, what about challenges then? Since you started this stuff, what kind of challenges have got in your way that's made it harder for you?
Before we started with the diary, it was he was busy all the time, and we struggled as a couple, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then obviously we said, right, okay, we need to bring in a diary, and we need to plan out when we're going to have couple time, when we're going to have family time, and when you're going to obviously do the podcast.
Yeah.
And since introducing it, we've been absolutely fine, haven't we?
We have.
Because we were able to have that couple time and switch off from all the mental health stuff, switch off from being parents, and just be us.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that a lot. I mean, you can see a little bit of this behind me, but any kind of structure in life that helps you just to kind of make things simpler is absolutely huge. And it's not, it's not something that a lot of people do. So well done for sort of putting that space aside. I know you were having, no, it's brilliant.
Gotta be done, yeah.
And of course, it means that everyone's kind of accounted for, doesn't it? Because the kids will get their time, you get some family time, some private time, which is really vital. Yeah. And I suppose, I don't know what you guys are like, but a lot of people are like this, and I certainly am. Also, time for yourself, just to be on your lonesome. So, what were you so busy with before, Adam, that kind of was getting in the way?
It's like I just wanted to do lives.
Sorry,
social media and social interaction, and I can admit I was very selfish and inconsiderate then.
Okay.
But now I'm glad I've got the balance.
And has that been hard won, Kerry? Did you have to make him aware that he was being a bit selfish back then?
Yeah. It was obviously not nothing like that, but you know.
Sure.
I'm like, right, Adam, I just said, like, right, Adam, we need to talk. And then obviously that night when the kids went to bed and we got the cleaning up done, we sat down, switched our phones off, chucked them at the side. Right, okay, we'll ignore them, ignore everything. And we just sat there and talked. And I said, look, we're not making enough time for us as a family or us as a couple. I know. And fair enough, yeah, building the brand, doing the mental health stuff, it's brilliant. And I want to be there for him. But I've got to obviously have my needs met as well. You know, because obviously I am a woman. I'm also his partner. And I do have my own needs and everything like that. And obviously he does as well. And we need that time together.
You're not a woman when you're asleep, though.
Oh, that's it. Quick, one of them. No, absolutely. And that's a really nice way of putting it, Kerry. Yeah, really nice way of putting it. And I think it's funny because I remember I talked to you guys on the phone one night a while ago, and I was talking to you guys about the way you come across, the language you use, the way you speak. And I think for my money, that's one of the things that does make your content so appealing, is that actually it doesn't sound like a lot of the BS that's out there. You know, these are sort of just real life people having a real conversation. And I think you wear your hearts in your sleeves a little bit. Certainly that's the impression I get in terms of not just your feelings, but also the challenges that you have. You quite openly talk about them, and you know, make it kind of almost like a kind of matter of factual thing. It's like, I had a breakdown and I tried suicide a couple of times, and then that happened. So I sort of decided to myself, okay, what am I going to do? That kind of level of comfort and that sort of matter of fact sort of treatment of it makes it less uncomfortable for other people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you can talk about these serious things without it having to be, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was terrible. We know it was terrible because we know
Yeah, because
what
obviously a lot
struggling
of
with your
people
mental health is
struggle
like.
to talk about it. And obviously we want to obviously end that stigma of it. So a part of that is making it normal. It's normal to talk about feeling. It's normal to not be okay. You know, I mean, obviously they've got that hashtag at the minute. Hashtag it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's a big one that's going round. You know, and it's okay to say, no, I don't feel all right. I'm feeling crap.
Absolutely.
You know, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more time with somebody, or I just need a little bit of time on my own to sort myself out.
Like this morning, obviously I dropped my son off at school, and I rang Kerry to see how she is, because I do that every morning, see how she is,
Okay.
and she was very stressed, triggered. So I said, right, okay. As soon as I got back, which I weren't that long, I turned around to her and said, Kerry, self-care. And she was reluctant at first. Then I raised my voice in a little bit, not like in a controlled way. I said, just Kerry, self-care. So she gave in.
Good. And that is that, isn't it? That's difficult language to hear, especially if I was a bloke. Oh, he gave in. You'd be like, hey, shut up, you didn't give in. But actually, we do have to be humble and say, all right, yeah, actually, fair shout, you know. And whenever I'm talking to colleagues and sort of clients, whoever I'm talking to, I'm always sort of asking them, how do you do that? How do you clock it? What's the intervention in your head so that you can stop and sort of go and you know, like you say, take the time you need?
I think it's because of my qualifications, my knowledge. Like, I know what signs to look out for, especially when it comes to speech and language. I know what I'm looking out for, and straight away I knew Kerry was triggered. There's been times where I noticed she's triggered before she even noticed it.
Well, of course that makes sense, doesn't it? Because again, when we're struggling, we're overwhelmed, and we don't necessarily clock it. Which again is why it's so important for this stuff to be normalised, so that people can talk about it more, but also so that people can recognise it more. So, Kerry, he's the mental health warrior. You're the warrior S, or whatever you call it in the background.
Mental health warrior's wife.
Mental health warrior's wife, is that your official title? Support them in the background.
Yet, we'll be next year.
We'll be next year, yeah.
I like it. So, you know, I've certainly noticed a big difference. What have you noticed in Adam since he started doing this stuff? What kind of things have you seen change or get better or maybe get worse even in the old relationship between you two?
He talks to me more.
That's a bad thing, is it?
No.
He talks to you more. That's brilliant.
Before all the mental health stuff, he wouldn't talk to me. He'd bottle a lot of things up. And obviously, as much as I could like Adam talk to me, I can't force him to talk to me.
Yeah.
So, and obviously now with all the mental health stuff and all the qualifications and everything that he's learned and people he's spoken to, he'll talk to me a lot more. And the stuff that comes out, I can have a more in-depth conversation with him. And that's what's made us stronger.
Yeah. Lovely. Nice to hear.
Because we believe, obviously since all this COVID started, we believe it was make or break. Now, if you can say that after 12 years, you know your partner, I'm afraid you're wrong, because there's always that little barrier from letting each other get close to each other. And at one point, we did actually say, this is going to be the end of Kerry and Adam, permanently. We actually had those thoughts, and we started planning what life would be without each other. But really, we tried avoiding that, and we actually got to know each other even more after 12 years.
And that's an amazing amount of time to be together as well, isn't it?
Yeah, at the start of lockdown, obviously when we heard, it's going to be 3 weeks to slow this curve or whatever it was, we were like, right, okay, we've got 3 weeks stuck with each other before we can do anything. Obviously, that was then.
Yeah, here we are a year and a half later.
It's still there, and we were like, right, okay, we've got 3 weeks to either sort ourselves out, or decide what the next step was going to be.
Yeah.
And in that 3 weeks, we sort of spent a couple of days just ignoring each other a little bit.
Bit space,
And then, and then obviously we came together, we sat down, we talked, and we were at it till after midnight, weren't we?
Yeah, we spoke for a good few hours.
We even ordered a takeaway at 10:30 at night just to stay up and carry on talking. You know.
Oh, I love it.
You know, when we sat down, we talked, and we put everything out. We were like, right, okay, all the cards on the table. What do we do next? And that's where it went.
And this is what we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. I love it.
It worked.
Well, it sounds like it has. I mean, the two of you, when he's making jokes, Kerry's sort of sitting there smiling wryly and kind of knows what you're on about. And
Me, Joker?
The banter between the two of you seems very joyful and authentic as well, which is really lovely to see.
Yeah,
what's some of your videos and your content, and the two of you just out there in the world, just kind of being yourselves. And that's, I think that's probably one of the most important things you can do, especially when you're trying to get people's attention and raise awareness, isn't it? Is be authentic.
Yeah, nothing is faked. Nothing.
No.
No.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Not even an Instagram filter. No.
No.
I don't do that.
Damn,
I don't know how to use them.
Makeup on.
No, I mean, I've got an app on my phone which obviously I can edit photos with, and I do edit a few photos to make myself look a bit nicer.
You're beautiful.
That's allowed.
You know?
Yeah.
No, but I don't like stick a dog face on me or anything like that.
I was like, I like the zoom features where you can put like glasses on your face and stuff.
Yeah, we don't do any of that.
No, it's and I think that's the thing again. You know, in the world where well, I don't know. I'll ask you because this is about you. But how do you feel about all the kind of Instagram, TikTok, all this very contrived stuff out there?
I don't like TikTok. I absolutely despise it. Every time I go to my mum's house, my nieces are on TikTok doing all these dances, things, and I'm like, what the hell is all this?
Go on, then. Go on. Give us one then.
That's my interpretation of it. They're like, what the fuck is all that?
Yeah, it's very strange. I've noticed a trend recently. I don't know if it's just around here or if it's. I think it's a common thing where they watch it so much and they're so obsessed with it that the kids walk down the street like doing it to themselves.
Oh,
like even if they're not watching TikTok, they're just walking down the street doing these little dance moves. I've started to see that recently.
Yep.
Which I don't really know how I feel about it. It kind of
you want a joy, don't you? You want a joy.
No, any kind of movement is too much exercise for me, Adam. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I've been shopping with my niece, and the only thing she'll do is she'll stand in the middle of a supermarket, put the phone on a shelf, and do a TikTok in the middle of Asda. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, it shows that these next generations don't have any sort of not as much shyness or reservations about performing in public and things. I suppose it's funny.
A dick in the middle of Asda.
For want of a better way of putting it.
No, but you've got to praise the confidence.
Well, you know, or just the lack of caring.
Because she can pretend to be somebody she's not, but as a person herself, she hates her hair. She absolutely hates her hair. She'll always have her hood up, and she doesn't like being out the house on her own.
Right.
So
okay.
That's the thing at the minute. How online you can pretend to be something you're not, whereas you and me don't.
It's interesting, that, isn't it? 'Cause it's kind of reflecting back something that you want to see, but isn't necessarily accurate. So the last question I had really was around. Well, it was about how do you feel? Oh, here we go. Was that cat flying? Was it hovering over here somewhere?
No, he's sat on the side over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very. What's the cat's name?
Jess.
Jess. Oh, Jess, like Postman Pat's cat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey up, Jess.
This ain't a haircut, by the way. This is me losing her because she's got 9 cats.
Oh, okay. 9 cats.
And he's the boss of them.
I don't like cats massively, to be honest with you. Sorry, but
he's the boss of the cats. Right, you mean?
We've got a dog, and that's had enough.
Too many as well. I think 9 too many.
Are they rescues or just collected them over the years?
We've got a couple of rescues.
Jess, I had Jess's mum, and then I've got 2 of his brothers as well from the same mum. Onyx was a rescue. Simba was a rescue. Minnie,
Simba.
yeah, Minnie I got when my nana passed away. I got Minnie from a breeders. Simba and Minnie did the dirty and had 5 little girls. We've got 3 of them.
Oh, bless. I can see, Adam, I can see that you've got the same stress symptoms as I do a little bit.
Yeah, he's going bald.
Oh, no, him and the rest of the planet, don't worry.
He's going bald.
I know.
But you don't see that on camera most of the time, mate, so don't worry.
I don't care. I don't care, to be honest.
So those animals are supposed to be good for your mental health, though, aren't they? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
maybe not when
10
you've got
minutes with a cat every day
herd
is
of
meant
them.
to help you with your mental health. We've got 9, so I've got an hour and a half every day.
Adam's face. Oh, mate, what a sense of humour, the pair of you. So, I don't really have much else. I think what I was really keen to sort of hear about was just kind of your background, what the family life is like, what the journey's been like, and I think you shared that quite nicely.
Yeah.
I certainly know from talking to you guys on the phone a few weeks ago, and from looking at your content, looking at where you guys are now, you just seem to be going from strength to strength to strength. Like I say, the quality of the stuff, he's looking smart today with his shirt on and his smart hair, and you're looking, the pair of you are looking really good. Well, it makes a change from that grotty Scotland top you were wearing when you were out doing your activities. We don't talk about.
Shut your mouth.
So yeah,
that's relaxed, Adam. When he's away from the camera and we're just out and about, and he's just playing,
just being a
dad,
dude. Yeah.
partner Adam.
And it's nice to see some of that personality, I think, in people, isn't it? Because like you say, and I know you've had a couple of experiences with this. People will take the opportunity because you put yourself on a platform to attack or challenge or raise debates, and that can be quite stressful if you don't kind of know yourself. Exactly. And kind of just go like, well. And I know you had some challenges a few weeks ago. Yeah. Where you were kind of getting quite close to being done with it, and praise be that you got people talking to you. You've got Kerry there with you, and this will continue on for as long as it's important to you guys and everything.
Yeah,
else.
I think it was because obviously at home we've got Lucas has got autism, and obviously at the moment he's being assessed for ADHD and having further assessments with his ODD, and then Tegan's going through her assessments with autism. And then Adam's going through his own assessments for autism, as well as all the daily life stuff. And then obviously this as well. So it takes some major planning with us to make sure that we've got a balance where we can give everything we need to,
Yeah, because obviously a few weeks ago, in the same week with my daughter who's not with us, it was her birthday. It was the week she was adopted out, and that same week, I was diagnosed with severe trauma.
I remember you saying, that's right, yeah.
So it's taking too much on.
So, amazing again to hear you be able to kind of just recount those things, which are pretty significant life events, but again, in quite a matter-of-factual kind of way, and go, well, look, yeah, we can dwell on it and the weight of it, or we can just say what it was. And, I think it's nice to hear, because a lot of people in your position, and if I can use that term kind of loosely, I don't know anything about your private life, your socio-economic status. I know a little bit about some of your political beliefs, I guess, now, from our chat earlier on. But, the kids have got a chance.
Ask about our private lives. I'm not bothered.
Well, it's not really what I'm interested in. But yeah, no, so I mean, you've got those challenges, you've got those opportunities, and those, obviously you're all sort of cut from a similar cloth, and so it's nice to see that those challenges aren't what you lead with, I guess, is my point. And is that been a deliberate thing, like you don't want to overshare, or is it that you don't feel it's appropriate? What's the kind of balance for you in terms of sharing versus awareness raising?
It's basically we'll talk about things if we need to. So, like with all the mental health stuff, obviously sharing our stories. I mean, I found it hard to do it at first, but obviously then I was okay doing it. It's sort of like, I can't put it into words. Sharing our stories, and we're hoping that's going to make other people want to share their stories.
Resume.
Yeah.
Listen,
So that obviously they'll want to share their stories, and then obviously
Just keeps going, doesn't it? Yeah.
Train of thought.
No, you're coming up. No, you're bang on, Kerry. When I started my business, I was loath to do it, and I haven't done it since. And I don't do it a lot because I don't want the focus to be me, just because that's a personal choice. But when I started, I told my story of kind of my journey, my depression, my breakdown, my recovery, and all the rest of it. But you know, I don't really want that to be my entire identity. And I think for you guys, it seems like that's kind of the same. It's a bit like, well, actually, we're in control of this stuff. We're doing this, and we're doing all this, which is amazing.
We've got a lot on our plate at the minute, and it's about balancing it out.
Yeah.
At the moment, I mean, we've got a lovely week holiday booked.
Fantastic, man.
So we're working towards that, because it's like that week we'll be able to completely switch off from everything and just focus on me and Adam, Lucas and Tegan, and being us as a family and enjoying some time out of this house after the last year we've had.
Well, that's
Out of
what
this
she's
prison.
100%, that's what she's 100% focused on. I'm not.
Freedom for a week.
Because I've got caught beforehand.
Yeah.
You've got what? Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. So
I'm in court.
again, you've got
I've been
these.
caught before.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's a lifestyle that some people will understand. There's a lot of people out there that have, you know, court cases. They have these appointments. They have these challenges. They have all this stuff to do. And I guess, you know, some people will understand it and some people won't. So again, it speaks to the kind of authenticity of the message, I think. So, I mean, I think you covered it earlier on, but unless there's anything specific you guys wanted to share, because I told you it was going to be safe. I told you I wasn't going to be like prying or anything like that kind of stuff. And I don't really have much more than I wanted to know. I think, you know, I wanted to sort of find out a bit more about you, what the journey was like, what the challenges are that you guys have to cope with behind the scenes, which you've shared really nicely, and also kind of, you know, what's kind of next. So what's the ultimate goal for, I think you covered it earlier on, but what's the ultimate goal for for the mental health warriors?
Ending the stigma.
Ending the stigma. So we need to just get more vulnerable.
Yeah. In the next 12 months, going into schools, doing mental health workshops with children of all age ranges, but obviously making it age appropriate. That's the next step.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's a 12-month goal.
Fantastic. So, Adam, Kerry, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview you for a change and put you in the hot seat. I hope that wasn't too painful, and I think you know, I'd end up by saying, you know, applause to both of you for the way you've dealt with your own challenges in life, but the mental health warrior movement itself. And yeah, for anyone who is watching this stuff, and I do know a lot of people, actually, I'll put them in connection with you, who recognize the importance of getting kids at those sort of formative ages in life and being able to have the right kind of conversations, which maybe aren't yet, you know, happening. So please reach out to Adam and Kerry if that's of interest to you and you like the way they come across and the way they sort of explain things in their style. In the meantime, thank you both very much. That was great fun. I hope you delivered what you liked.
Brick this and then it being an easy interview.
Well, you know, I didn't make you brick it. That was all in your control, wasn't it?
What the hell is he going to ask us?
Okay, see. Well, you managed your own mindset, but, you know, a bit of nervousness is good, so that's good. You both did really, really well.
It's still, right, that countdown. I don't like it.
But, on that note,
oh, your fault.
We will end this podcast. Please join me tomorrow where we're going to have a day of spirituality. I've got a couple of people on. Happy days.
Fantastic. So is that a signpost for tomorrow, was it? Sorry?
That is a signpost. I will be putting a post out about spirituality.
Nice one. Let's have a. I do like discussions around spirituality, so I'll be tuning into that or watching it on the replay. For anyone who's watching this on the replay, of course, #replay. And if you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are, please give us a comment and a like. Support these guys. They're a lovely couple. Fantastic efforts that they're going through. And tune in to Adam's and Kerry's Mental Health Warrior future videos.
Yep.
Thank you.
See you later.